Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is the next to last Sunday in May. Can you believe we actually have a fifth Sunday this time around? It's weird. Um, how is everybody? Awesome, that's very excellent news to hear. The, train of thought just totally slipped. Um, we've got a fair amount of things to go over this week. We've got haul. Um, we've got whip updates, of course, including the homework for this week that I didn't have prompts for last week. A new start planned, and a giveaway that will be taking place on my Instagram. So, we're gonna dive right on in and start with the good old Q&A. The first question comes from Lee McIntyre. She says, I keep hearing in videos about people using MPI threads. Can you tell me what they are? Is it a type of thread or brand? Okay, first, it took me a little bit, and I think what you actually mean is not MPI, but NPI. Like, N as in Nancy Potato Igloo versus Mary Potato Igloo. NPI is short for Needlepoint ink. It's a brand that does silk threads. They've got like 800 some odd shades, so they have more than the DMC line. So when you see a conversion, sometimes there's 2 or 3 different DMCs that you could replace the one NPI with. Subsequently, the shading is very, very subtle, so you sometimes have to really use your best judgment with that of, okay, well, if I've got like 413, 414, 415, then I may need to do 415, 413, not 415, 414. Something like that. A lot of people really love them. They are usually on the pricier side. I personally, having seen, the best example I can give is my LNS has a model of Paradise Lost from Plum Street Samplers stitched in the called for NPI. I cannot tell a difference between the NPI and the DMC that I'm using. So personally, I don't feel like NPI is really worth the cost for that specifically. But that's just me. But that's what they're talking about. So, or at least that's what I believe they're talking about. Kathy Aote asks, would you consider doing a new introduction video? Or do you have a more current one than the one from way back in 2014? Honestly, no. I did think about when I hit my 5th anniversary last year, redoing the Know Your Needleworker tag. But really and truly, the answers haven't changed hardly at all. The big things that have changed have been like major life events. Like I moved out of my parents' house, I got married, I have this apartment now instead of the last apartment. I work for a bank instead of Starbucks. So the things that have really changed haven't really been about me as an individual. It's been about the things in my world. So my tastes are still fairly similar. They have changed, they have grown, they have evolved, but I think it's easier to watch the videos or pick videos randomly to watch to see my changes evolve and my tastes evolve, versus redoing the Know Your Needleworker tag. But that's just me. Carol Dana asks, what is the most projects that you have worked on at one time? I'm assuming that the By that, you're meaning, like, how many active whips. 10 seems to be my max, but I think I've got something like 40 or 50 things started. We don't talk about that. All right. And I believe that is it for the Q&A. So let's dive into the haul. So first, I got my fabric of the month from Fortnite Fabrics. And bless their hearts, they had some issues with the distributor. But they're changing distributors, so that should resolve that. But this is the fabric of the month. It's called Morel. And remember, this year's neutrals are all themed around mushroom types. So this is Morel on 16 count Ada. So it's a nice, lovely neutral. Oh, and it looks like they did finally get updated tags. They must have gone through them, because now it says cross stitch, not cross stitch. Haha. Okay. Then I got my order from Stitchy Box. So in this one came a piece of 14 count Ada. It's a fat quarter. It's fabric on a whim in the color Orchid. Which I actually think I may use for one of the patterns that I got from Stitchy Box. I ordered some patterns, I ordered some floss, and I ordered, obviously, this fabric that I did not fold back up very nicely. I'm definitely ready for my LNS to reopen, because I've got a whole bunch of fabric from, well, not a whole bunch, but I've got several of these fiber on a whim fabrics that they're not words. They're not surged. Okay, so the first, both of them are by Enoch Abriel. One is called One Morning in 1900, and it's a cute, oh, there's a lot of glare there. Let me see what I can do to soften that. There we go, that's a little better. It's a cute little Victorian-era town. So, all encharted for DMC, and it's got lots of little small houses for easy finishes. So that was super cute. And then I saw her post this one, and when I do this, it won't be all in one color. It's called Love from Year to Year, and it's a one with different little icons for each month and hearts. So I will not do them all the same color, though. Alright, and then I got a whole caloodle of cottage garden threads, some of which may find their way into Secret Garden. So I got, I'll save this one for last. I got Allium, and this is from their Forage collection. So this is Allium, Fern, Marigold, Verbena, Dragon Fruit, Lychee, Anastasia, Prickly Pear, Cosmos, Boronia, and my personal favorite, pig face. So they're all super pretty, and I'm really looking forward to getting to use them. So we shall see what they're like. Like I said, I think some of them may probably find their way into Secret Garden. So that was my Stitchy Box haul. Alright, then I got a lovely surprise from Gina. She sent me some fabric from Fortnite Fabrics that she'd bought that was similar to another one she'd already bought, so she thought she would spread the joy. This is opalescent 25 count. And it's one of their solo dies, I think, from an auction. So I've never used 25 count. Obviously it's even weave. But I've never used 25 count before, so that should be kind of fun. And it's a nice sort of subtle opalescent. It's not overly sparkly, which I actually kind of like a lot. So I'll have to find the perfect piece to put this on. Which brings us to the giveaway announcement. So she got an extra of the Garden Gates needle minder that's been so popular for Secret Garden. And as you probably remember, or if you don't, the gates open and you can store your needle inside when you're not actually stitching on it. So, for this giveaway, I'm going to do it off of my Instagram account versus through here. The main requirements, you've got to follow me. That's pretty basic. You can unfollow me after the giveaway. That doesn't bother me either. So you must be a follower. You must be stitching the Secret Garden. Or have at least purchased it. So that means that whoever wins will be required to show me at least the supplies or some evidence that they've purchased it, and I will be double checking it with Kristen, so to make sure that it was purchased. So that way so I kind of wanted to do it tied into that. So if it'll start today after my video, well, it may go up before the video. Depending on how long it takes the video to post, this may actually end up being, it may show up on Instagram before, but if not, it'll be after this video. I'll run for a week. So, like I said, you'll have to comment me or something to state that you're interested. And then I will randomly select a winner next episode. So, like I said, the only requirements, you have to be stitching it or at least be intending to stitch it. And it will be double checked with Kristen. So, all right. So, moving right on along to, well, I guess technically I'll show you the haul for this week because Secret Garden starts. Yay! And it's pretty. Oh, actually, I guess the other thing to show, Brooks Books, the Tinkerbell ornament came out. So there's Tinkerbell. Super glary, but super cute. And then we'll be starting Secret Garden after the video. So there's part 1. Also super glary, but super pretty. So, and I will be doing a floss toss to compare. Which also means I'll start reading the book. Yee. I'm very excited if you can't tell. Alright, so this week's homework. I did not. Silly me. Okay, so this one was one involving the different rides in Epcot. So the first one was to stitch on a project that is eerie, to remind us of the Maelstrom ride. So I worked on Literary Alice, because Wonderland is kind of an eerie place. This is by Bendy Stitches, and again, I am doing a Gentle Arts color conversion. So here's where I got on her. I'm doing this on a Fabric Flare polka dotted fabric. So the changes, I did do the outline to the cameo that she's in gold, and I did the gold for the Smyrna stitches because I really wanted them to show up. I'm using Buckeye Scarlet for the red. And then I used Gentle Arts Brandy Wool for her hair. So, there she is. So, and that's sort of basically going to be my goal on her for the month. So next month will be to do the leafy frame around her, and then probably the one on the top and the bottom. And then we'll finish in July with the remaining 4 character faces. So I absolutely love stitching this one. It's been super fun. Alright, so then the next one was to stitch on one that is a fast stitch. So I went with Beauty and the Beast because she was stitching up quicker than I thought she would. I also have been using it for extra credit. So I used it for the 300 for stitch on a piece that has a lady in it, which I think I mentioned last week. I'm also using it for the 600 stitch things with the letter STITCH in it. So I got a good chunk done. So I finished the homework, which was 200. Then I did the remaining about 150 that I had left on stitch on a lady, and I got about 400 of the other one done. So that's where I got to. So Beauty is done. I didn't change any of the colors on her. So there we go. So we've got some dishes and such, and then the top of the frame. So that's what I'm going to work on next, will be obviously the top of the frame. For those curious, here is the design. So I think I may actually end up finishing it this week, because there's really not a lot left. They have not posted this week's homework assignments, so what I will probably do is whatever I can to make this one and every season fit it, we'll do. Otherwise, we'll just penalty stitch, because I need to get both of those done. Well, I don't need to get Beauty and the Beast done, but I would like to. Alright. I'm hoping that Zav Stitches will post a picture of his, because his is looking really pretty, and it's on this really pretty yellow fabric. So hopefully he'll post his soon. Alright. Then next I worked on Soaring, and I chose Adventure Awaits because we had to stitch on a whip that affects 4 of your senses. So I did touch. You can feel the water because it's a map, and there's the ocean. You can smell the sea air because there's boats, and you can be on a boat and smell the sea air. Sight, there are a lot of major landmarks, like the Statue of Liberty, the Easter Island heads, the Taj Mahal. And then taste, you can taste the sea spray, was what I said there. I also could have used hear, because you can hear the airplane that's in it. So 200 stitches got didn't get quite as much as I thought it would. This is a mildly denser stitch than I would have expected. But it did at least finish out the tree and the roofs and such of those little buildings. So, next time I work on this, I'm hoping to finish Africa. And then I think from there, I'm going to try and just do a continent a month. So... Right. Then, and I did these actually out of order. Then I did, for Mission Space, work on a whip that is in outer space. So I worked on Night Walked Down. So I finished up her hair and the moon. And here's the pattern. This is on Demeter's Harvest by Die Stitch Love. So there she is in all her glory. The outline of the moon, the sort of darker color, it shows up much better in person than it does here. So there she is. And her hair looks much cooler in person too. So I'm really loving this one. And it's kind of become, it's a good one to stitch on Friday nights in the Zoom meeting. So it's kind of become unofficial that I stitch on this on Fridays. Probably because there's lots of like big blocks of color, so it's easy to sort of keep track of. And then finally, I worked on Chinese Zodiac. For the last one, which was Gigabyte, stitched on a whip where you're using a higher count fabric than the called for. And I'm stitching on 16 when it's supposed to be on 14. This is Alba White Truffle from Fortnite Fabric. So I got the red outer ring done, and I got started on these, and then I discovered, right as I was doing my 200th stitch, that this is actually this little motif needs to be one up. So I've got to hick tits and fix that. So, but it's super cute, and I love it. So, so that is what I worked on this week. So, today, obviously, after the video, I will be starting in on Secret Garden, which is on Brown Sugar from Under the Sea Fabrics. And I will be, like I said, I'll look at my colors, and I'll look at, I may do some variegated additions. It's going to kind of depend on what the colors really end up looking like, so, but I haven't, it just released this morning while I was still in bed, and then I ate breakfast and then came in here and started this, so I haven't had a chance to really look at what the color list, I have got the colors all pulled, but I don't have my symbols down, and I don't know which colors are in the first part, so I haven't really had a chance to look at that yet. So, anyhow, that is kind of it for me. So, I hope everyone has a terrific week. Again, it's a shorter video. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully, we'll get back to having our homework assignments on Saturdays so that I can talk about what I'll work on this week. For sure, though, I'm definitely going to be working on Every Season by Tiny Modernist. Because I ended up not being in the mood to work on it last week. Because I've got really just fill in to do. So I haven't decided how I'm going to handle the inner little filigree. I'll probably decide that after we actually get another season in here. So, So, I'll definitely be working on that this week. I am off tomorrow for Memorial Day. Congratulations to those of us who do have it off. And I'm sorry for those of you who do not. So, my plan is just to work on that all the way through tomorrow. And maybe even get it done. That would be nice. So, anyhow, that's it for me. I hope everyone has a terrific week. And I will see y'all next time.